Organization. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably A, aren't very organized, or B, don't know how debaters are supposed to organize. So hopefully I can clarify a little bit. First, let's talk about how to organize your evidence. Now, I'm assuming that you're paperless because we're all supposed to be after Pam left, but if you're not, then I'm sure there's another video out there for you somewhere. This is just going to be focused on paperless debate. Now, I have two folders on my computer, a negative folder and an affirmative folder. In those folders, I have everything that I've ever used from the THS Tub on both sides. So let's just explore both of those really quick. In my negative folder, I have another folder labeled environment, another folder labeled spending, because those are two arguments that I run almost every round, 5 documents that I usually defer to just about every other round, and my most important folder, case-specific neg blocks. What this is an argument against every single AF that I've ever gone against. That way, if I ever hear it again, I can just click on the speech that I read last time, and I won't have to waste any of my prep time preparing for it a second time. Now let's go into the AF folder. In my AF folder, I have another folder labeled 1ARs. In there, I have every 1AR, since I'm the 1A, that I have ever read, and each 1AR is labeled with all of the things that were thrown against us. That way, any argument that anyone runs, I have my pre-written response to already there in my 1AR file. I also have a folder called Old AFs. Now, I've run the same AF for this entire year, but it's changed many times, so I keep all of the evidence from my old AFs in that folder just in case I need some clarification for the 2AC. I can go in there and grab it and give it to my partner. I also have my AF called the real AF because I have so many other papers that are labeled AF. I have to remember which one's the real one. I also have 4 other documents that back up my advantages and things that people usually run against us. That way, no argument that anyone can bring up can surprise me because I have pre-written documents to answer all of them. Next, research assignments. Save all of them into your neg file, not in the THS debate file, because you're going to forget about them there. You have to organize them in your neg file so that you remember that you can use those. They're your resources. Next, it's very important that you delete junk. If you read a speech that wasn't effective, or you read a piece of evidence that was really bad, or you realize that you have too much stuff cluttering your laptop, you should just get rid of it. That's very important because it can save you a lot of prep time and make sure you're more organized and focused. Next, separate evidence that you read from what your partner reads. I don't have anything that my partner usually reads on my computer. I don't have it because I don't want to accidentally say it after my partner has already said it, or vice versa. That just makes us look cluttered and jumbled up, and we don't want to do that. Next, your backpack. You have to keep your backpack organized. That being said, you don't need anything in there that you don't absolutely have to have every debate round. So let's go over what should be in and what should not be in your backpack. Schoolwork should be taken out of your backpack before every tournament when you debate. Only the essentials should be kept in, like flow paper, your laptop, your charger, a timer, flash drives, water, and I like chapstick. But really, those are the only 7 things that I can think are necessary to keep in your backpack. Anything else is just keeping you from getting to the things that you need faster. Next, speeches. Just to make sure you're organized with every speech, give a roadmap, unless it's the 1AC, before every speech. And make sure to ask the judge beforehand if they prefer off-time or on-time roadmaps. If they like on-time roadmaps, then you're going to have to go quick. But off-time roadmaps, you're going to be very clear and list all your off-case first. You don't have to say which each one is, like topicality, disad, EU counterplan, before you've ever brought them up. Just say like 3 off-case arguments, then case in order. So it's very clean-cut and organized. Next, do not jump around. Stick to your roadmap. That way your judge trusts that what you say you're going to do is actually what you're going to do. That not only makes you more credible, but makes your arguments more organized, and they're more likely to vote for you. Next, bullet point main ideas after you read evidence so that you remember to explain what the evidence was trying to get at. So after you read a long piece of evidence that was probably really boring, that the judge might not have enjoyed listening to, say something interesting about that evidence. Say, hey judge, I hope you realize that this evidence means that we're all going to die if we don't do our plan. So keep that in mind when you're voting. Next, memorize the speaker order and follow it exactly. Now, my worst example of this, freshman year, my novice year, my first round ever, I did not know the order of any of the speeches, and I was supposed to be the 1AC. So I gave my 1AC, and I was very confident, and I got asked questions about it, and then I sat down, and I didn't realize that the other team was supposed to speak next, and no one was getting up to speak. So I figured it was my turn again. So I got back up, and I gave a speech against the speech I just gave, because I had no idea what was going on. Needless to say, we lost that round. So it's very important that you just know which speeches are yours and which speeches are your partner's and which speeches you should not be giving. Next, find an organized partner. It could cost you each round. If your partner is messy, they're going to hold you back. And if you're messy, you're going to hold your partner back. It's very important in debate to be organized. And finally, be on time. If you are at your rounds on time, you immediately have the upper hand with the judge if the other team wasn't. So I hope that these guidelines helped you a little bit with being more organized.